Hi, and welcome to Pet Pals. Every week we take a look at animals that are looking for their forever homes at the Frederick County Division of Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center. I'm Linda Shea. With me is Randy Cooper, and we're going to start with one of our small little creatures at the shelter. This is Charlie. Charlie is a very, very handsome guinea pig. He's about 1.5 years old, and he was turned in by his owners. His owners had him for about 5 months. He was acquired as a giveaway. And for the last 5 months, he's had what he thought was a forever family, and then someone in the family developed allergies. So he's here with us. That's not uncommon that people turn in rodents and other animals due to allergies. What we recommend, though, is if you suspect you've got allergies, sometimes it's not necessarily the animal. It could be the peripheral things that go with the animal. A lot of times the bedding and anything else that might create dust, or when you're handling that animal, if that dust is on you. So, washing your hands is always a must before meals especially, but after you've handled any animal, you just want to incorporate that into your lifestyle. And if you've got small ones in your family, you want to make sure that they're washing their hands as well. The other option would be to have a family member take care of cleaning the pet's cage so that you're not exposed to any allergens that are there. But Charlie is very agreeable to being handled. You can see he's very calm, very sweet. He did come to us with overgrown nails, so guinea pigs are not without needing care. They need a special diet when you go to the grocery store. If you acquire a guinea pig, you're going to be buying food that you've probably not bought before, maybe more spinach, dark green, leafy items. You want to make sure, too, that their nails get trimmed at least every 6 weeks or so, or when they get to the point of being too long. And certainly if you're not comfortable trimming nails, you want to incorporate your veterinarian to do that. Charlie has an intake number of 15-4000. So from July 1st of this fiscal year, July 1st, 2014 until now, he's the 4,000th animal that has come through our doors. We are open admission. We take in animals that need us in Frederick County, so that's just to give you an idea of the number of animals that we take in. But this little guy is looking for a home, so if you're interested in a guinea pig, we are certainly willing to help you out to figure if he would be a good match for you. This handsome guy is Pete. Pete is about 1.5 years old, and he is a return to shelter. He was adopted from the shelter a couple of months ago, and then the family situation changed. So he's been returned to us and now available for adoption. He is young. He's only 1.5 years old, and he needs some work on his manners. He seems to walk nicely on a leash, but he can be a little bit mouthy, a little bit pushy, and that's not unusual. I always compare dogs that are in their early second year to teenagers. They certainly know what the rules are, but sometimes they push buttons. So it takes some reinforcing, positive reinforcing, just to remind them that these are what the rules are, and you get much better response, positive attention if you are sitting nicely, if you're walking nicely on a leash, if you take treats gently. Pete is very affectionate. We do have him color-coded as green, meaning that he's going to need a little bit more work on his manners, a little more consistency in his life. We do a process here with adoptions where we interview people. And the interview is a time where we sit down with potential adopters to try to hash out what our animals need, what the adopters can provide. But we're not always successful, and sometimes people's circumstances change, as it was in the case of Pete. The family circumstances change, and one of the comments was that the other family members would not help with the dog. So you really need to consider adopting a pet is a family commitment, not just a one-person commitment, unless that one person is willing to take on the full responsibility. But Pete is with us again, looking for a forever home. He's a good little guy. He's young. So if you have time to invest in training and just reinforcing his good manners, he would be an excellent choice.
Why? I remember that you did that before.
This little girl is Hannah. Hannah came to us on June the 6th, and she was found as a stray on Mercantile Drive in Frederick, and that's an apartment complex off Ballinger Creek. So if you're missing a dog that looks like this might be your dog. She's about 10 to 12 months old. We named her Hannah. Obviously when strays come in, we don't have identification. We don't know what their names are, so we make it a little more personal. Instead of calling her dog 4225, we have named her Hannah. She is typical lab puppy. She does already instinctually know how to retrieve. If you offer her a toy, she'll bring it back to you, and she already knows how to fetch, so that's part of her retriever instinct. She's only about 50 pounds. At 10 to 12 months, she's going to fill out a little bit more. She's a slight build anyway. I would say, just in guessing, I can't imagine she'd be more than maybe 65 pounds when she's fully grown. Labs instinctually are fairly good at being responsive to food. They're treat motivated, so you really need to balance between the positive reinforcement of treats and make sure that they get enough exercise to maintain their weight at a healthy weight for what their body structure is. As a stray, we've brought her up to speed on vaccines, on preventatives, and prior to leaving here, she will be spayed, she will be microchipped, and because she's a puppy, we have a puppy process, so we will take up to 4 applications for her, and that enables us to screen families, hopefully to find the best match that we can. In comparing Hannah to Pete that we just looked at, Pete was a puppy when he left here, so again, sometimes the puppy process does not work, but when you're going to incorporate a puppy into your family, you want to understand that they don't know what the rules are. There is no handbook to help you out, but the shelter's here to help you out with information, and really to make a successful introduction of a puppy into your family is to commit to that dog, to that puppy as an entire family, and that where everybody shares the work and that there's a level of consistency in training and resources. But this is Hannah. She is sweet, she's affectionate, and she is looking for someone that will keep her her whole entire life and offer her some training and good manners. This energetic little girl is Sybil. Sybil is about 3.5 years old. She was brought to us previously owned. Her owner's living situation changed, so he was unable to keep her. She's about 67 pounds, and she's very enthusiastic about life and about treats. She is a gorgeous blue color. She came to us current on vaccines, which is always a good thing. So if you have a pet in your life, dog, cat, exotic, you want to make sure that you have a veterinarian in your life as well. For routine checkups at least once a year, and then as things come up, if there's any illness, if there's any behavior you're uncomfortable with or not sure about, you want to make sure that you have a vet in your life that can answer questions and that can properly assess your animal for any medical needs. But Sybil, she's already microchipped, she's already spayed, and again, she's very energetic and she's that gorgeous blue color. So if you have time and resources in the form of time and family commitment, and if you can keep up with her energy level and are willing to instill some manners as far as walking nicely on a leash, not pulling, Sybil would be a great dog. She's got a great personality, great temperament, so a great foundation for learning the things that she needs to be a good canine citizen. So the last little guy we're going to take a look at before we head to a break is Joseph. Joseph is just one example of the kittens that we have in the shelter. So for everybody out there that's been waiting for kitten season, that's come in over the past couple of months disappointed because we didn't have any kittens on our adoption floor, they are coming back litters by litters at this point in time. So Joseph is about 11, 12 weeks old. He was previously owned, so he was the product of an accidental litter that somebody's adult cats had. He's a gorgeous classic orange tabby, and the classic pattern is, to me, I always compare it to marble cake. It's like somebody took white fur and orange fur and kind of swirled with a spoon. So he's got that classic orange tabby coat with white. He's only about 4 pounds, and all of the cats on our adoption floor are tested for leukemia and feline immunodeficiency virus, so he has tested negative, And Joseph is also a product of foster care. If you come into the shelter this time of year, you're going to see these little 3-4 pound kittens that have been in foster care. And the comment I hear over and over again is that there's a definite difference between animals that have been in foster care. So these guys have been well socialized. Joseph was actually fostered by one of our animal control officers and her family. So he is social, he is handleable, he's friendly, he is interested and enthusiastic about life. So he's typical kitten, very playful and affectionate. So if you have been waiting patiently, this is your reward. We now have lots and lots of kittens, and you're going to see them when we come back after the break. But this is Joseph looking for a forever home. So we're going to go ahead and take a short break. When we come back, we're going to take a look at some more of our little kitty cats that are looking for adoptive families.
So I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Did you know that all of Frederick County's mixed recyclables go to a materials recovery facility to be sorted? For this to happen, your recyclables need to be placed into a cart or bin loose, not in bags. Trash bags are not recyclable, and materials in bags are difficult to open at the sorting center and are not accepted. The only exception to this rule are recyclable plastic bags, like grocery store bags, which do need to be gathered together inside one bag so that they don't get caught in the sorting facility's machinery. Also, shredded paper should be placed inside a paper bag or cardboard box so that it can be collected and sorted properly. Thank you for helping to make recycling work better for our community. And remember, please don't bag your mixed recyclables. More information on our recycling program can be found online, in our mobile app, or by calling our office. Recycle more, waste less.
Transit services of Frederick County. With rising gas prices, transit is a less expensive way to work or school. Most commuter bus routes run every 30 minutes during weekday morning and afternoon rush hours. Bus stops are within a quarter mile of most businesses in downtown Frederick. Transit offers shuttles to Thurmont, Emmitsburg, Brunswick, Jefferson, Spring Ridge, and Route 85, or take a shuttle to the MARC train for an easy commute. Find out what nearly 1 million passengers already know. Transit connects people and places.
Welcome back to Pet Pals. We've got 5 other felines that we're going to take a look at that are looking for forever homes. So this little guy is Austin. Austin is also a product of foster care and just one of many kittens that are coming back. So even if you were to visit us this weekend and might not have the kitten that you're looking for, come back in a couple of weeks, because from now on until at least August, we're going to have a steady stream of kittens coming back from foster care. So Austin came in previously owned, and he originated from someone finding a box of kittens on their property, and that was in the Monrovia area. So Austin has some siblings. All of them were underage when they arrived at the shelter. They were only about three weeks old back in April. So we sent them into foster care, and as you can tell, even if you can't tell via the TV, you can come in and visit, but they are social, they're friendly, and Austin is actually one of our kittens color-coded blue, meaning that he's very agreeable to being handled, loves to kind of sit on your lap, and a little bit calmer than a lot of kittens. Kittens range in personality just as much as they're just very unique, each individual has a different look to him and different temperament, but Austin is one of the more calm kittens. Now, being calm doesn't mean that he's boring. He certainly has an enthusiasm for life, interested in exploring his environment, just much more agreeable to being held and handled. So again, coming from foster care, has that wonderful background of being socialized. He's had all the preventatives that he needs prior to leaving here. He'll be neutered and microchipped. So again, if you're looking for a kitten, now's a good time to come visit. This little girl is Natalie, and if you think, gee, she looks just like Joseph that we saw before the break, you would be right. She is a litter mate to Joseph. She is also a product of foster care. At this point, she's about 11, 12 weeks old, a little over 3 pounds, and she also has that classic orange tabby coat. So she's actually very pretty, very beautiful coat. If you are considering adopting 2 kittens, that's a good idea. We always have, a lot of times we'll have litter mates. And there's a difference between adopting 2 kittens and 2 puppies. 2 kittens will keep each other company. They will instill bite inhibition just from their playing with one another. They'll keep each other social to that end. Puppies, however, we discourage adopting 2 puppies together just from the social point. Puppies need a lot more attention to instill manners and training, and they really need one-on-one focus. But if you're interested in adopting more than 1 kitten, that's perfectly fine. There's actually a discount. The adoption fee for kittens is $97.50. That covers getting them spayed or neutered, microchipped, current on vaccines, our SNAP testing, that's test for leukemia and feline immunodeficiency virus, a free vet exam with our participating vets in the county, and any information that we have on them. And if you adopt 2 kittens, the first one is $97.50, and then there's a $20 incentive discount if you adopt a second. So the second kitten would be $77.50. So a lot of times folks come in and they would like to adopt 2 kittens at the same time, and we encourage that if you're able to. And if you're not, adopting one is certainly perfectly acceptable. But this is Natalie, again, a product of foster care, so she has been around young children and their friends. She's been around adults. She's been around a myriad of other animals. So what I recommend is if you're looking for a kitten, please do come into the shelter during the hours that our kennels are open and visit with some of these kittens that are looking for forever homes. This little girl is Grace. Grace is one of our adult kitties looking for an adoptive family. She's about 7 to 8 years old, and she is also similar to Pete that we saw earlier in the show. She's a return to shelter. So Grace was adopted about 6 months ago. Her adoptive family chose to move within that 6-month period, and they're stating that the new landlords were going to require that Grace be declawed. So Grace at 7 to 8 years old, we do not advocate declawing. Declawing has a whole slew of downsides to that, but it's a conversation between pet owners and their veterinarians. So rather than declaw, the person decided to return Grace to the shelter, so she's here with us now. Again, about 7 to 8 years old. She's a little over 8 pounds, so she's your average size cat. She's a little bit shy in her cage. She does have significant dental disease. The shelter has limited resources. We are 100% county tax funded, so your taxes, if you live in Frederick County, pay for us to exist, and it pays for us to provide the care that we do for our animals. In the case of Grace, because she needs something that's a little bit above and beyond our basic vaccines and preventative care, we are going to go ahead and provide her the dental that she needs. So we're going to send her out of the shelter to a local veterinarian to have that done on Tuesday. A lot of our local veterinarians are very helpful, very compassionate, and offer us significant discounts, and we always want to thank them and extend our appreciation for that. So the dental that Grace will have done will be done through donations that are provided to the shelter. As a government entity, we do not solicit monetary donations, but people do donate, and if they specify that it's for our medical fund to go specifically to our shelter animals, that's how we're able to help animals like Grace. So we're happy and pleased that we're able to do that. We've already taken care of the preoperative blood work that she'll need, and come Tuesday afternoon she will have pearly whites to match her white coat with the black markings. But this is Grace, and one of our adult cats looking for a forever family. This is Zipper. He is another one of our stunning adult cats. He's about 4 years old, came to the shelter mid-May from Graceham Road in Thurmont. We are an open admission shelter. We take in any animal that needs us from any part of the county, so as far away as Emmitsburg, Mount Airy, Frederick City, Brunswick, all those outlying areas. We do take in animals from there. So if you're missing an animal, and if you live in Thurmont and you might say, well, gee, my cat or dog could never make it to Frederick City, well, they might not be able to make it on their own, but we do have officers that patrol. We have citizens that bring us animals. So Zipper came to us neutered, so we know that at one point he did belong to somebody who did the responsible thing, but without a vet history, when he arrived here, we provided him the preventatives that he needs as a cat, as far as vaccines and dewormers. He did develop an upper respiratory infection, which is not unusual when you take a cat that might not be current on vaccines and you introduce them to a population of existing cats. And on any given day, right now our shelter population is in the low 200s. Some of those animals are in foster care, but in the shelter itself, we've got a number of felines. So if you introduce a cat like Zipper, comes to us without vaccines on board, they are very likely to develop an upper respiratory infection. So with Zipper, we went ahead and treated him for that, so he has recovered. He's very handsome. He's got a very soft coat. He's a beautiful classic brown tabby. Again, if you look really closely at his coat, you can see the white, the brown, the black kind of swirled in there. He's about 8.5 pounds, so again on the average side of adult cats, and very, very sweet. So if you're looking for a younger cat and you're not interested in the activity level of a kitten, Zipper would actually be a very good choice. So the last little kitten we're going to take a look at this week is Aspen. Aspen is another kitten from one of the prior litters that we looked at this week on Pet Pals. She is about 12 weeks old, and she is, again, a product of an accidental breeding. So somebody's adult cats created this litter of beautiful kittens and was unable to take care of them. Aspen arrived at the shelter in early April at 3 weeks of age. So if you can imagine her just tiny, just about a pound in weight, needing supplemental bottle feeding and canned food and socializing, that was her life when she first started here. We put her in foster care, and she has been well socialized. She's had her siblings to play with, her foster family to kind of encourage her to be social with humans, and that's the product that you see today. But she has been brought up to speed on vaccines, on preventatives. She's color-coded blue. We do color-code our dogs, cats, and bunnies, and even our kittens, just to give people that are looking to adopt an idea of their temperament and personality. So if, for example, if you're looking for eventually a lap cat, an adult, Aspen would be she's got a good prognosis for turning into a lap cat when she's older. She's very calm, she's very sweet, she's very social, so she's all of those things that a lot of times people look for. She did develop an upper respiratory infection the end of May. She is free and clear from that. And again, when animals come to our shelter, last year we took in 4,900 animals. Earlier in the show we showed you Charlie. That was animal number 4,000 for this fiscal year. So with that population constantly transitioning through the building, you're going to have animals that come in without vaccines on board that may develop some kind of illness. But with Aspen, we've gone ahead and treated. She's free and clear, and so now she is one of many, many kittens looking for a forever home. And that wraps it up for this week's Pet Pals. We are glad you could join us. Certainly if you've seen any animals today that you're interested in adopting, if you've got family or friends that are interested in adopting, you want to make sure that you stop by the shelter, especially if you're looking for a kitten this time of year. The best way to do that, to figure out who's going to match best in your family, is to come in and visit with them one-on-one. So we encourage you to visit us at Roseman Avenue. Until the next Pet Pals, hope you have a great week, and thank you for joining us.